Hello everyone, welcome to week 4 of Multicultural Literature. Today we're going to talk about JSTOR, which is one of my favorite research tools out there. It's really important to make sure you're looking into teacher education and teacher associated research, because that's how as a teacher, as a practicing teacher, you stay updated with the trends, stay updated with what people are talking about. Learning things like teaching grammar explicitly isn't really research proven. It's actually more proven to work when you are teaching grammar within writing or within context, so things like that. The JSTOR site is really simple to get to. It's jstor.org. Sorry if it's a little blurry there. And there are a lot of different sites. You don't have to necessarily use JSTOR. When you're off campus, you're going to go to lib.fsu.edu, so lib.fsu.edu. You will go onto quick links, distance learning, right here. And then you'll click on off-campus access. Now I'm on campus, so it's going to automatically log me in, but if you were off campus, it would ask you for your campus ID. So you would just type that in with your password and it'll log you on. It'll have a database lookup, but if you just open a new tab and click JSTOR, it'll work. Now JSTOR, again, is pretty simple. So if I wanted to look up for my final blog, multicultural literature in the classroom, I already have it in here, so I'm going to highlight it. It's going to give me a ton of results. So as you can see, that's a lot of results to search through. I typically don't search through everything. Let me say that again. I never search through anything, but I do modify my searches. So if I wanted to take a look at, for example, teaching multicultural literature in the reading curriculum, what I'll do is I'll actually put this down for a second and open it into a new tab. Or just kidding, I'll just open it like that. So this is what it's going to look like. You're going to open up, it's going to tell you the journal that it's in. Then underneath it, it'll have the PDF. So here's the PDF of that article, teaching multicultural literature in the reading curriculum. So this is what we call in the research world of education a peer-reviewed article. That means that this person who published this article submitted it to the reading teacher, which is a type of journal. That journal asked multiple people that are in the field to read this article, and then they accepted this article, probably sifting through quite a few submissions, and taking a look at, the clarity and the research quality of this article. The easiest way to actually read it, I think, is to click on View PDF. You just click on Accept the Terms and Conditions, and it will download a PDF version for you on your computer. So I'm opening that up right now, and it's really easy to read it and print it off if you prefer reading it on paper. So this is what it looks like. And you can see that my computer is loading slowly. The same article there. It also has view citation on it, which is pretty cool. It'll show you all of the information you need to create an APA citation. And say, for example, you say, this is a cool article, but I noticed that its published date is 1990, which is pretty old. So I want to make sure that I'm citing things that are not as old. So I'm going to back this search up. And then I'm going to click on Modify Search. And you can click on Advanced Search on the main page to get to the same page. Right here, you're going to get Advanced Search. And you can look up the same thing, so multicultural it's kind of hard to type, literature, And then you can add and, so if you wanted to look up multicultural literature and technology. Let's try that, technology. Let's see what happens. And then you can narrow your search. You can narrow your search from dates, which we're going to do, so we're going to say 2000 onwards. So 2013, let's say. And then you can narrow it by field, which typically doesn't help. So I'll click on search. And notice that I have fewer, but still equally as large search results. And then, you know, they sound a little bit different. So, for example, the first one is a 2013 article that's written Multicultural Education and the Protection of Whiteness. So that's actually going to be a topic that we're going to be talking about this week. So this is kind of a little preview of JSTOR. The way that the articles are written is what I want you to replicate in your blogs. So I want you to kind of almost think about writing a mini article in your blog, writing it in the same way. Again, these articles are they're written a little differently from what we're used to reading, like in textbooks and literature and things like that. They're written a little bit more with this like scholarly language, if you will. But once you get the hang of reading it, it's actually pretty easy to read. Some of the articles are pretty long. I don't expect you to read the whole article, but I would want you to look at the introduction. I want you to look at the results, which are typically at the end. So sometimes they're called results, sometimes they're called discussion, sometimes they're called implications. So I want you to kind of get used to reading these kinds of articles, and once you find an article that you like, what we call in the doc program, we call mining the bibliography as a way of finding articles that are similar to the article you like. So what you would do, say you read an article, you really love it, you will then scroll all the way to the bottom where the bibliography or the references or the works cited are, and you can take a look at all of the different articles that article chose to cite. So that's a good way of finding things for your final blog. Again, the final blog, you need 5 APA cited sources, and I would suggest you use at least a couple of peer-reviewed articles, so kind of starting to learn the lingo of research and educational research, because it is important that you stay in this loophole, in this academia, even though you are going to go in and teach. A lot of teachers who teach for 20 plus years, we go in as interns and we say, wow, they're kind of like out of date. And that's because they aren't looking at this kind of educational research. They aren't staying updated. They're not doing a good job on their part of professionally developing their own knowledge. So that is JSTOR for this week. So if you have any questions about how to do this or any more questions about research, feel free to email me. But otherwise, enjoy your investigations, and hopefully you'll find something that you feel passionate about. I will see you next week.